Dignity is something that we all have, but what we forget is that it can be violated.
Nobody can take it away from the other person, but also nobody can grant it to the person. So no government or society or any community can define like this person has dignity and the other doesn't.
It's something that we possess deep within us from the moment of conception till the point of natural death.
The World Youth Alliance was started in 1999 at the United Nations during a conference on population and development. And at this conference, the UN brought in a very small group of young people who issued some radical demands. They demanded abortion as a human right, sexual rights for children, and a deletion of parents' rights. These young people did not address any of the basic need confronting the world's youth. It was clear to me that I needed to go back into the UN and back to this debate to state, no, this vision of the human person that you are proposing is not one that I can support, and I have an alternate vision that needs to be heard.
There's just certain things that I believe about people, that I see in people, that my experiences have taught me about what people need and the way they are. And the World Youth Alliance has given very much voice to that. It's taught me words to say, to express it. It's taught me new ways of believing it. And it's really taught me how to see it very, very well.
There's nothing greater that I could give my life to than the defense and the affirmation of the dignity of each and every human person, and in particular those who are most vulnerable, those who are unable to defend themselves.
One of the most significant experiences I've had so far with the World Youth Alliance was a project that we did in Manila, and I lived for a week in a slum, living in a house with the family that lived in this slum. At the end of the experience, I discovered I'd learned a lot more than I could ever give to these people, because I mean, they had a very small house, they had very little food, but they gave me their best bed in the house, their only bed in the house. They always gave me their best food, and that's taught me a lot about kind of what it was really important as a human being, about things such as friendship and generosity.
We started with nothing. We only knew that there was an idea so compelling that a handful of us had quit everything else that we were pursuing, and we'd started to move on this.
This idea that all human beings have dignity and worth, and that each person has the potential to improve their societies, is something that just lights young people on fire everywhere, because it makes everyone feel like that belief they have that they can change the world is real.
We lived entirely from the commitment and enthusiasm we had for this idea. And we sat down, 9 of us, into this little room where we worked with hats and gloves in the winter, and where we left early on summer days because not us, but the computers would melt. And this very particular character is what forged the World Youth Alliance.
At a certain level, young people are young people from the Philippines, from Nairobi, from wherever. We're all young people. We all want the same things.
When I was introduced to World Youth Alliance, I already had in mind a project where I wanted to improve education where I'm from. And upon reading the charter and upon going through the training, I realized that this is exactly what I'm looking for.
Young people are searching. They're searching to say, to what can I give myself? To what can I apply my talents? What is great enough to bring out of me all of my talents and desires and to apply this to the world?
We discussed about the possibility of organizing a training event. So our young members basically did everything. They contact all the speakers, they contact everyone. They were empowered, they were able to say, I can do whatever. We equip them and they get trust and confidence in themselves and they change the world.
Every human person has intrinsic worth that is prior to any right that is conferred, and in fact, which is the source for any rights that are conferred.
Dignity means that every person has value despite their circumstances.
The World Youth Alliance has become a unique place where we ground everything that we do in this idea of the dignity of the person.
If you have values and you know where you stand, it's usually hard to find people who think alike and who are willing to take a stand and speak out. And finding so many people from so many different parts of the world It's amazing. It really gives you a lot of hope.
We all have a vision. But now, with the World Youth Alliance, I learned that this vision can become an action.
The charter and the beliefs of the World Youth Alliance give me hope, because the most difficult is for us first to live what we are promoting, to apply to ourselves these values of human dignity, of integral development of the person, of solidarity. So it gives me hope because we're trying to apply these values to ourselves.
What we're really looking at is many, many individual lives that are transformed by this idea and that then go out to transform other lives.
World Youth Alliance has made a difference in my life because I've met like hundreds of great young people from around the world who both believe that the human being has dignity and are willing to kind of sacrifice for that.
When I came for the internship here in New York, I never thought I would have the confidence to do diplomacy, and a part of my projects during the internship was organizing for the 5th International Solidarity Forum.
It gives us a push. It makes us feel like, no, we're not alone in this and we can change. I was always sort of, we need change, we need to do this and that. And I did believe in the dignity of the person, but I just didn't feel that we could do anything. I used to say no, I'm just one person out of the millions. What can I do about it?
As the only voice speaking for human dignity at the UN, we have an impact every time we raise our hand and say, what about the person? What about family? What about the connection people have to each other?
The training that our young people are now doing is very intense. We look at people from Gandhi to Nelson Mandela to the Solidarity movement in Poland to understand how does an idea become a movement, and what is it about certain movements that succeeds? How is it that we take an idea and we transform a culture?
We are receiving a lot of support of people saying, we need you in Europe, we need you at the European Parliament, we need you in Germany, we need you in Slovenia. And we need young people to be present because we need this hope and this new message.
Many of these young leaders are already taking this information and they're directly applying it in various aspects of their lives.
As I've seen World Youth Alliance grow throughout these years, I've seen a lot of members come in and they're bringing great ideas and they're starting their own projects.
I went and visited a slum in Nairobi, Kenya, and we'd been traveling all through different parts of Africa giving seminars on dignity and peace. So I got into this slum and I said, so who here has dignity? And not a single one of them raised their hands. But I thought, well, maybe it's a language thing. So I was like, well, who here is worthy of respect? And about half of them raised their hands. And so I asked, well, who here has ever experienced love? And again, only about half of them raised their hands. And I started to get really nervous because I was like, I don't know where to go on from here. They don't even think that they are worthy of respect or love. And so we spent the day just going over examples of their humanity and our common humanity.
There is a very clear recognition among these young people that if we get this foundational understanding of the human person right, then we get everything. And if we get it wrong, history has shown us the terrible devastation that this creates.
I really believe there's a new generation of young people around the world that are ready to promote life, to promote human dignity, and to make people happier, simply.
The generosity of the young people in starting the World Youth Alliance is now being matched by those who are stepping forward to say, let us help you achieve your goals. Let us help you develop and reach further.
I was so impressed by everything I heard about the World Youth Alliance that I felt if there was anything at all I could do in a small way to help them, I would like to.
This idea of the dignity of the person is one that animates everyone. But if we can animate and give expression to this idea in the lives and commitments of our young people, then we've created a space where all of us can turn to put our talents at their service and ensure that these young people have what they need and what they deserve in order to ensure that this gift of their life and this gift of their talents that they are so willing and ready to offer can be maximized and used for the good of our entire culture.